Proposed to the case study 1. Here is case study 2, in which I am using ornithine. Ornithine is a non-essential protein that we have seen last class, and we have calculated the softness, hardness, and other parameters, and try to find the electrophilicity, nucleophilicity of certain derivatives of that. So here there is a session on how these parameters will be useful for docking. This is the ornithine structure. There is a non-essential protein. As you can see that it has got a optical property as well, because it is a L-ornithine. So you can have D as well. Okay, this is carbon 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a alpha amino acids. This is alpha group because we have a functional group there. So this is the first and this is the second, and this is alpha amino diamino non-essential protein, and its 3D structure is given like this. So more information about this can be had from the chemical abstract system number that is given here, and the literature survey is important to find out what its properties are. Okay, so this we have already done. Now, a knowledge of chemistry should tell you which part of the atom is very reactive. For example, you can have, if there is an approach of any nucleophile, the positive center should be this one. Okay, so the electron may move here and you get a negative charge there and you get a delta positive charge here. Therefore, a nucleophile can very well go and attack at this place, and you are having a base, two base electrons there, very rich base. They are not very good nucleophiles, but still they are basic electrons, and you can use them for any reactivity or attacking. Okay, so a literature survey reviews the following acceptor, or rather you can call it as a macromolecule or enzyme or any acceptor, enzyme or even receptor. This is a place is given a structure name as 1D7K. You can read that crystal structure of human ornithine decarboxylase. This is our molecule is ornithine. We call it as ligand, and ornithine decarboxylase is a receptor, which is whose picture is given here. The crystalline picture deposited at the RCSB PDB. You can go to the site and search for any structure and get the PDB file there. Okay, PDB file can be downloaded. But before that, you must know how ornithine goes and reacts and what is the receptor for the ornithine. There are several proteins and protein receptors in the body. One must have a knowledge of which receptor binds to which kind of ligand, or which drug binds to which kind of ligand, and what is the mechanism, slightly, you know, the mechanism, like for example, blocking of a particular release of groups or disabling the activity of that. Okay. So you can have more details in that. So I have downloaded this structure. Which is available free. And there are sometimes, you know, the resolution is very good, and I will show you how this is a ribbon question. Okay, ribbon it's a type of three-dimensional structure which varies, which differs from ball and stick. And this is a kind of ribbon structure there. So if you look at the knowledge of chemistry, you know, this is the knowledge of chemistry. It doesn't require any knowledge from the computational part. So I have seen that some iodide substitute compound were tested for biological activity as ODC inhibitor. There is a reference there that I have given at the end of the paper there. So iodine derivatives, you know, they are very good inhibitors of ornithine decarboxylate. That means they stop the function of the ODC, and they show some toxic effect at so many places. The docking process showed that compound had an affinity with coenzyme. Therefore, I went for docking to find out what is happening and where it is binding there, and interacted with the pyroxyl 5-phosphate. This is one of the factor, or you can say this is one of the, for example, you know, the structure of hemoglobin in which you have got so many components. You know, one of the component is benzimidazole. The other component is porphyrin ending system. Another component is some carbohydrate attached there. So like that, pyridoxical lipid phosphate approximately 4 angstrom in length and cis-238 approximately 3 angstrom in length are held together by electrostatic interaction of iodide with aromatic ring and phosphate group, and by hydrogen bond interaction between delta amino group and cis-328 backbone. Okay, so this is the knowledge of the chemistry there, and slightly something about the quantum chemical calculations, which are done by the softwares. Like for example, I have told you, GAMIS and Gaussian General Atomic Molecular Atomic System is free of charge, and Gaussian is costly. Have been done for a series of components in order to explore the recognition by some amino acids involved in the binding sites of chlorine. So this is another receptor there, so the reference is given there. So electronic effects related to HOMO, LUMO, and that is what I told you, that this is very important calculation. And Hammett effects, the substitutes. It was concluded that a compound with a smaller size, low HOMO or high LUMO energies, low optimized energy values of the ligands as well as electron withdrawing group like NO2 in aromatic ring showed better recognition for the receptor of this. So this is from literature survey. This is from literature survey. Okay, exercise through pi-pi interaction and hydrogen bonds. This was evident from previous work where the interaction between the receptor and the ligand was found due to HOMO-LUMO energies, and this is again the literature survey that we have done, and the reference are given here and as well as here 14. Okay, so armed with this knowledge, the ornithine dicarboxylase is be downloaded and its activity can be calculated, and see what I have done. You can see there one of the case studies, that chapter docking studies of L-ornithine and its derivative as potential drugs. It's a very good potential drug evaluation based on reactivity descriptors. Okay, so we have seen descriptors. I think I told you that there are more than 3,000 descriptors. Some of them are HOMO and LUMO. Okay, Fukui function F plus, F minus, and F0. So many, even the ionization potential, electron affinity, all these conform to the reactivity discourse. So this is the introduction part, that tells about the property, allergical property of it as a cancer. This anti-cancer agent, this interact electrostatically and covalently. Here is our chemistry part with various macromolecules such as ODC. We have downloaded this from the PDB site, and targeting polyamine pathway using difluoromethyl ornithine has been one of the methods to treat cancer. So it is an anti-cancer agent. So we know well that some literature surveys have this, and the interactions are electrostatic as well as covalent. Okay, electrostatic as well as covalent interaction. Detail is made various analytes. Okay, so we have done the DFT and NPV level. This is ab initio and this initial, and a comparison done to find out what effect is evident from these bindings. Okay, and then the genetic algorithm was found in the docking software. Docking software, and the quantitative approach was done. The docking interactions are visualized and is given at the same. At the end of the calculations, some useful derivatives with sulfur and oxygen substituents were identified. Okay, identified theoretically. Okay, so that you can later prepare in lab these derivatives. Some toxics will be proved based on the electrophilic studies. So that is also another study there. So I think we'll have another paragraph short. The optimized geometry using DFT was used for the docking purpose. Optimized means I have submitted some rough molecules, and the DFT calculations, DFT software, they showed the optimized parameters. This is the code from the PDB for ornithine decarboxylate and was used as a receptor matching method for docking simulations. Water molecules were removed because these often interfere with our studies, and this is also a part of the process there. PLP was not removed. This is one of the coenzyme there, the coenzyme or co-molecule which is there. It was not removed as it was one of the cofactors where docking was found to take place. This is a free software that I used. Free software that I have used. And some of the protocols of the experiment were giving the gas ticket charges or the Coleman charges. I have chosen Coleman charges because they were very productive and they explain many things. Docking simulations were carried using Lamarckian genetic algorithm. This is a method, and this all you don't bother. Once you go to the docking things, and you will have the methodology there. So using the methodology, you can just go over these things, and then finally I use the Discovery Studio Visualizer. I think I have given you how it is available and where it is available. And Ribbon is another free software using which I have visualized the docking process. Okay, and here is the general chemical aspects that I have taken. The general idea of classing reagents with respect to their chemical behavior stimulated further research on the physical properties of the complexes. The work published by Pearson is very useful for correlating and better understanding of very large amount of chemical information in terms of the hard and soft parameters. They have actually classified molecular system in terms of the hard and soft processes. What is it? I think this you have had an HSAB approach theory in your MSc classes. Hard acids are considered acceptors or nucleophiles. They have got high positive charge, low polarizability. Example, H+, Ca2+, and BF3, etc. Soft acid have got low positive charge, high polarizability, and large in size. For example, mercurous and BS3 and I+. Hard base, this is quite opposite of this one, donors and electrophiles. These have high electronegativity and difficult to oxidize and low polarizability. Example, F- NS3. Soft base, low electronegativity, like H-, I-, C2H4, ethane. Okay, keeping these derivatives in mind, I have prepared some of the derivatives theoretically and subjected them to some derivatives have been subjected to the optimization process and later the docking process. Okay, see what has been done. The derivatives are there, beyond there, in the table. The first column shows the lowest mean binding energy. This is a thermodynamic factor and lowest binding energy delta E. Free energy is also calculated. Binding energy is calculated for single isomer. Hardness have been calculated by the formula ionization, and that is ionization potential minus electron affinity. This is by IP. IP minus EA by 2. DFT is E homo minus E homo by 2. This is the hardness that is calculated by the general, exact method. And this is Koopman's method, in which I again telling you that Koopman's theorem takes the orbital energy as the direct ionization energy. That is, the E homo is taken as the energy of the ionization potential, and electron affinity is taken as the energy of the lowest unoccupied molecular atom. And look at the derivatives there. Derivatives have been chosen based on what we saw on the table. H is one derivative, CS3 is one derivative, CS2F, CHF2, CF3. Likewise, you have so many derivatives there. And these derivatives, they are based on the spectrochemical series and the knowledge of that time. Okay, so you can have a look into the previous slide in which I mentioned about hard and soft acids and bases. So you can see that I have taken cyclopropane also, CH, CF2, and CH double bond CHF, CH2NS2. These derivatives I have chosen on some carbon atoms like this. This is the COOH, and here you have NH2, and here is the R. Okay, this is the place where all the substituents are being taken up. Okay, so after taking a lot of computational work, lot of computer resources are there. The values have been calculated. So look at this, you can have an idea of what is happening there. In this, if you look at this, you will see that minus 6.02 is a very good binding energy. It has got a very good value, higher negative value, means a lot of energy is released. That means this is CS3 derivatives having some effect. Okay, free energy is also calculated. You can directly compare the numbers and tell that based on the higher or lower numbers, the reactivity varies. Okay, so here is having a very good hardness value for this minus 6.02. So this is not at all a very reactive one. This is very stable, and the formation energy, the binding energy is, is telling that it is not having so much reactivity towards another thing. Once it binds, it releases energy and becomes stable. So you have two factors to look into: stability after docking. Dock ஆன பிறகு எவ்வளவு ஸ்டேபிளா இருக்கு, okay, and reactivity before docking. Okay, slate contemplating will tell you what factors and what things will be very useful in the analysis of this. It should be very reactive before docking. Once it goes there, it stabilizes there, it gets blocked there, and that stability is what we are measuring. And the drag should not remain there for long. No, it will come out somehow, and that is is dependent on the Lockby factor. How much time it stays there in situ. Okay. So after that, this is the structure of the optimized structure, and there you can see the NH2 here. This is NH2, and here you have C double bond O and O and H. The 19 is R. This is where you have substituted CS3, this CS2Cl, I, F. Everything is just substituted, and the substituents are being plotted here. You can see that the derivatives are mentioned in the x-axis. R is equal to CS3, Cl2, CH. All these things are there, and they are not regular. The graph is not regular. Okay, the graph is not regular. That means you have to find out which factor is responsible for that much amount of energy. Okay, so the lowest binding energy pertains to this blue values, the softness value for this, and this is pertaining to this. So three parameters are given in this graph, and you can get an information about this. So if you look at the peak, the lowest binding energy is this one for the derivative or this derivative OCH. So have a look at this graph and see what all information you can get. Local softness is on the right side. Local softness is given on the right side, and other factors like, for example, for C11. So you can just change the to global softness also. Global softness. Global softness and local softness I have just told you. This is another graph that shows this. Okay, so I think this. Okay, local electricity is there, so it is very much higher for this one. CHF2. W minus is electrophilicity. This is W plus is quite opposite of that. Which is having the highest one? This one. This derivative is and that is local for N14 atom. Earlier we have seen for C11 atoms. So such values are being calculated. And likewise, we have calculated the local electrophilicity index against the binding energy for M40 using MP2 level. The earlier level was using DFT level. There are so many other values that I have not inserted. Let me directly go to the pictures there and change this to get X value. These are all amino acids. So this is our molecule. The shaded portion, like values which I am underlining, this is the bonding, electrostatic bonding, and sometimes non-covalent also. So what is the maximum bond length you have? Covalent 1.4 angstrom. But here you have values here greater than that. That means they are very closer. And this one, that is this particular molecule, is PLP. So it's a coenzyme or cofactor. The cofactor is present ornithine decarboxylase. So the drug goes there, and this is for CH2F derivative, and this is for CCl3 derivative. You can see this is ornithine. This is PLP, and this is enzyme. So I am getting very good values there, 1.9, 3.29, 2.15, this very good values. Likewise, you can see what has happened here. Two 2.110, 2.25, 2.0, everything. So interaction is very good. There is PLP is here. So it goes and sits near. This is our drug molecule. Okay. Here it is for CS2OH. Here it is for CS2SH. Just by changing from O to S, what has happened? The values have changed. Very good. 1.95, you will get 2.25 here, 2.97, 3.11 here, like this. Okay. So you can get an idea. Of what is happening when you have the change in the substituents there. Okay. So again, this one is when you have PLP there, and here is your ornithine drug. When you have derivative is CS2 and CS, derivative is CS double bond CHF. This is a pi-rich derivative, maybe offering nucleophile Okay, and you can see the entire distance, that I'm having is just about 40 angstroms. Here it is 30 angstroms. So more resolved picture is there, and that is telling you the bindings at about 2.25, 2.07, 3.108. And look at the interaction of this coenzyme with the protein molecules. So this is all amino acid, like C double bond O, OH, NH, NH2, CS, like that it is going on. So different amino acid is given different structure. This is one amino acid, and this is another amino acid, and this is another amino acid, and this is another amino acid. This, and this are same amino acids. Okay, and this is another amino acid. So many amino acids are making a very good gap or cavity in which the drug sits. So once this is once this is bound by about some distance, delta E is released. That is delta E, the binding energy is released. And bind ஆன உடனே அந்த எனர்ஜி ரிலீஸ் ஆகும் இல்லையா, அந்த எனர்ஜி தான் நாங்க டேபிள்ல பார்த்துருக்கோம். That is the energy we have seen on the table when these things are bound. So if you don't get such values, if there is no proper binding, you will get a distance of about 10.6 or 12.6 or something like that. So higher values, they suggest that they have not been bound properly. So within van der Waals distance like 4 to 5 angstrom units, it starts from 3 angstrom. Within those distances only there will be interaction, and there will be electrostatic or that is non-covalent interactions. So all this will help in evaluating the drug there. So you can see that I have used this cyclopropyl derivative CPF2. So I have taken F. Okay. Sometimes cyclopropyl has got very good cyclopropyl derivatives have got very good anti-cancer agencies. So look at that, that cyclopropyl derivative, how it has bound there. So it has a distance of about 2.579, 2.836, almost very good within van der Waals distance areas. Okay, this one is binding very good. Okay, so it is bound by some of the ornithine derivatives is bound to the PLP there. PLP is the cofactor for this particular enzyme. The entire thing is the enzyme. Okay, 1D7K, that is what you have taken at the beginning, downloaded. This is the downloaded file. Okay, so this is our drug candidate. This is our drug candidate. This is the cofactor, and this beautifully tells us how much. And there is a last derivative which I have taken, is amide derivative. And in the amide derivative, you can see that the values are very higher. The reason may be 3.13, 3.0, and 2.8. The values are relatively higher because the amide, it is just like any other amino acid. Any other amino acid. So maybe there is not very good interactions. Okay, something heteroatom, something like a cyclic system, something like a very good nucleophile system has to be introduced inside the cavity to find its binding property. And once it binds, once the molecule binds, the productivity of that enzyme decreases. Productivity of enzyme decreases. Okay, when the productivity of the enzyme decreases, you are very much successful in inhibiting. Okay, inhibiting the release of chemicals. So that's a very good drug. For example, beta blockers that increases the BP. Beta blockers, are CYP blockers are there. You need something to block. A good drug is something which goes and blocks. Now, when you are a successful block agents, most of the enzymes in body are productive, and sometimes they become overproductive. Once they become overproductive, the body behaves very strangely. So you need certain blockers. Okay. So these blockers, can help it. For example, the synthesis of some excessive cells, can be stopped by blocking the area from where they are produced. So in that sense, you can use them as an anti-cancer agent also. So after successfully evaluating this, these can be theoretically evaluated derivatives are sent to lab. So I think we have just seen how we can use it and how this is very much useful in docking studies. What we have done, I again summarize. We have taken so many derivatives here like this. We have evaluated binding energy. We have the electrophilicity, nucleophilicity. Here I have taken hardness and softness because Pearson's hard and softness basis principle has got a certain derivatives which classifies hardness and softness based on the nucleophilicity and electrophilicity. We have changed the derivatives according to that, and I have drawn the graphs also and have taken some literature survey support to support my study, and finally I have concluded that the drug, the last 4 docking drugs, are very very useful in blocking some of the reagents that are very useful as an anti-cancer agent. So after this evaluation, out of the 16 derivatives, 1 or 2 derivatives are very good, and it is recommended for laboratory synthesis. Rather than synthesizing the entire 16 derivatives, only 4 or 5 derivatives which are very successful in theoretically can be synthesized in the lab and tested in the animals. Okay, thank you for joining me. See you.